Snagtooth Mountain, Sunrise Peak, Jumbo Peak. So, Jumbo Peak, Sunrise Peak, Sunrise Peak, Jumbo Peak, Juniper Ridge, Tahoma, Old Tahoma, Older Tahoma, Goat Rocks Wilderness Area. Many say that's the best part of the PCT. And then it hugs around majestic Mount Adams out there. We are a half ton of fun. Yep, the bandits, I says. There's the Cultist Creek Trail. We must get a wilderness permit. But this is a night hike, night mission. We're gonna make our way to the Pacific Crest Trail, and when we get there, we're gonna continue downhill. This is the PCT right here. I want to make sure we're where we are, and I think that should say Wood Lake, and it does. And we've all been here before. That was a real. There's Tula. There's Lulu. We just did it. Half ton of fun. Just made it up over the crest. Now we're on the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm talking about, boy.
We at Wood Lake?
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's. Well, it's about a half mile downhill from here. Remember? There's the bush.
Yeah, that was a long ways for her to go. Being little.
I don't remember.
Captain Bushwhack's on the prow.
Trying to get John to watch that Mad Max.
Now, is Mad Max part 1 or 2?
Mad Max was part 1.
Part 1.
And then it's Road Warrior. And then it's Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah. And the one, there's another one, but that's just a remake of part 1.
Actually, it's kind of its own story, but it is supposed to be his character.
And
it doesn't really. It's like Road Warrior.
But they're all called Mad Max, right? They all have Mad Max in the title. Like Mad Max.
No, isn't the Fury Road? Or is that Mad Max Fury Road?
I don't know.
Which one is the one where they were cops and there was a
Mad
boy
Max.
and he had a peppered butt and he ran across the field?
That was Mad Max.
Part 1?
Part 1.
Okay.
I don't think you have to say part 1 if it's the
but
first show.
If there's people out there that are like me and they haven't seen any of them, the only part that I've seen was this obscene part where this band of men, it's just insinuated what they did, but it appears that they had done something and his butt was peppered red. Afraid of everyone by then.
If you guys keep telling these stories, I'm going to be sleeping in the tent with Sam tonight. Like, I think John.
Why are you naked?
You see all the stars up there? Makes you think of all the hot guys. I haven't drank any alcohol in a while.
You want some?
No, I'm feeling kind of lightheaded. I'm good.
Kyle's vulnerable, guys.
Not that vulnerable. I see a blue flashing light.
That's nice. Nice.
Hello. It's Benson Burner coming to you live and direct from Indian Heaven. Inside my Ridge Runner hammock, and I have the Spindrift deployed. I'm scared now. There's a couple daddy long legs in here, dude.
Another cup of your finest Hills Brothers. What do you got there, man? Oh, in your pot?
Yes. Oh no, there is water in there.
Yes, it was. I was gonna make sure you think that's supposed to be bad for it. I don't know.
There's my second cup right now.
Just bring in the wood stove.
Bring some of this kindling or something.
Hoorah!
Cooler over here. It's currently 33 degrees. They're really light, aren't they, Kyle?
Yes, nice.
They're really light, aren't they, Kyle?
Yes, nice.
You were taking beads on objects across the lake over there with your kimber. Ooh, see how it reflects on the water? Spindrift was pretty cool. I think I'm gonna deploy the bug net at the bottom, and so I can keep this open, not get so much condensation in there. I made this pack cover. I got some fabric from Brandon. It's separate from it, and I put in some loops. I got some more fabric, and I made this rain kilt. The bushwhack, the old Spindrift, and the old links underneath this, the bushwhack too. And I got the bushwhack tarp with me too. So yeah,
It's confusing. Where was it? Did you travel with them to Arkansas?
I went with my mom and sister.
You remember what city was it?
Port. No, it's in Arkansas. Well, maybe that's there, huh?
Saratoga. Hey, Sammy.
That's right.
Kind of like how the Middle East fights us now.
Fools in there. Going with some top ramen and
I don't know what time it is actually. It's
some ramen rescue with chicken. There's a little Kyle's rig over there.
Climbed in too.
Kyle climbed in there. Did you put the Dutch shorts back on? Just kidding.
I got more candy.
Damn, Tessa. I tell this fool I still got no more candy.
Fancy stuff.
Oh, Tessa. Now, when I was a boy, there was a boy down the road named Alvin. He lived in a house that was real similar to Brian's
His dad had a
parents'
big
house.
boil on his neck.
And he used to play Rat on the guitar. Put makeup on Brian. Just for,
Freaked me out.
yeah. And I told him about these, because this was an item that was hard to come by when you were a youngster. You had to get your hustle on to get one of these. This is a Zipple.
You had to know one of the Slim Brothers?
I got mine from the Slim. This is actually, this one right here, the one I got from the Mooch.
Hookup, the Slim Brother.
Yeah, the Slim boys got me my first Zipple, and it was better than this. It was in cursive. It's an authentic in cursive Zipple. Now, when I brought this to Alvin, Alvin said, "Zippos can set the world on fire."
Kyle, go put on your Dutch shorts again.
He worked up since into a pretty good frenzy. Pretty good frenzy. Good frenzy. Pretty good frenzy. Pretty good frenzy. Pretty good frenzy. It's the Adams Glacier. Mount Adams right there. I have the bug net deployed. All you gotta do is like clip it up there. I made this pat cover here at the, and here's Wood Lake. I camped here about 3 or 4 years ago, I think 3 years ago. And perfect mirror, it was mirroring the stars. We came up through that little saddle right there and came down to the PCT, which runs this way north-south. And this is the saddle of Bird Mountain. Walk back up here, walk to that peak, and try to walk the ridge. All the stuff going on. Hanging right there in the Spindrift. Kyle's there in the Chameleon. And Brian's there in the Blackbird. Sam's over there in that tent right by the fire. That's his standard operating procedures, is getting the tent right by the fire. I helped him get the fire first thing. I know he likes to do that. He was cold, and we got a fire going within 5 minutes of getting here. Wow, that's a weird looking rock. Me and Goforth are here at a lake about a quarter mile away from our camp. And it's really kind of mucky, but it's a really beautiful campsite. Now up there, this is the shield volcano, Bird Mountain. And up there you can see the layers, the different, you can see all those separate flows up there. How ancient this place is.
I know.
Oh no. Sniff it up. We're back on the Pacific Crest Trail, me and old Goforth. We were just on there on the Timberline Trail. I know. Get some views to show you guys. And this in the berry fields, world famous berry fields, are reserved for the Indians. Lilo, get back. Lilo. Down there in that lake, that's where we're camped. You can see how the lake comes out like that. Sam's in this sleeping bag right now. I think Kyle's down there in his chameleon. And Brian's got his blackbird, and I got my ridge runner. We walked up this way, up to that lake, up to this saddle up here in between this little hump and here, and then bushwhacked up here. It was really tough. Let me show you a little stuff around here. So starting right here, this is Bird Mountain right here. That's the actual top. We're on just a little spur of it, and it goes over here as well. This is a shield volcano. There's little bits, and see how the right past the lake here it drops off to a different color. Well, it's distance oriented, and there's some lava rocks we found over there and all peppered throughout that lake, and this lake down here. Anyway, Brian's sitting there eating. No one ever records me. Anyway, Bird Rock, Bird Mountain, and we got Y-East. Me and Brian walked around that bad boy. That was so sweet. Let me zoom in a little bit. Me and Brian, we circumnavigated that. It was about 40 miles earlier. I haven't put that video out yet. Right here is Lemmy Rock. This is the rock that I was talking to last year in Indian Racetrack, Indian Heaven Racetrack, and Indian lore and whatnot. That's where the ancient Indian or alien jumped from her shooter and put the footprints and handprints down there in Goose Lake. 15-mile jump, or rode some lava down. It was erupting at the time. That's another shield volcano here. You can see its effect all the way down there. You can see its slope. Okay, then we got right over here, that's Flat Top Mountain. Okay, and right here is right there is a piece of Sleeping Beauty. Right there. Right here is Mount Adams. But right there is Table Mountain. Not the peak one above it, but in the foreground there. This right here is Sawtooth Mountain, and it's the oldest volcano here in Indian Heaven. So Sawtooth Mountain, here's West Twin Butte and East Twin Butte. Okay, and between this green and the blue is the Lewis River drainage. Over in front here, in between these two, is Cayuse Meadow, and that is Squaws Butte. Above it is Craggy Peak, and Craggy Peak, I don't know if this camera picks it up here. It might pick it up, but there's Craggy Peak, and if you follow it down, there's a little rocky piece right here, and that's above Blue Lake that we camped out. Right there is an unnamed little park. You can't see Shark Rocks behind Craggy from here. That's Kirk Rock. Used to have a bad name. And that's Badger Peak, and that's walking the ridge down to Elks Pass. Okay, that's Wood Lake where we're camped. Now this is not a this is not a shield volcano. This is what they call a tuya, and it erupted underneath this whole shelf right here. This whole meadowy plain was all filled with the Adams Glacier that I pointed out. And that tuya came up underneath a glacier and spouted out its top. That's called Lone Butte. And Lewitt's right behind it. Me and Brian circumnavigated that last year. And if you come down the slope, that little bump right there is Monitor Ridge. That bump right there is Butte Dome Camp, and that's Goat Mountain. This is Marble Mountain. That's right above Merrill Lake, fly fishing only lake. Let's see, this is right there, that's Swift Reservoir, Suisun roadless area. And over here is part of Trapper Creek. And I wanted to point out way over here, I can make out these mountains because I just study them. But right there is Indian Pits. And that is Silver Star right there, almost the double looking peak, and another Squaw Butte. Okay, and then little Baldy's right there. And this one right here is McKinley Ridge right there. Indian Pits, Lookout Mountain, Bald Bluff. So me and Brian, just like a month ago, and Cyle, we walked around this and walked down to Blue Lake. And then we walked all the way down, dipped down into Clear Lake drainage, and we walked back up, and you can see the bluff where we camped, man. Try to zoom up all the way. It's right there, that little bluff right there. Oh yeah. My gear bag here goes for my pack cover. Anyway, I'm gonna take it off there before I go to sleep. It ain't that cool. Alpenglow, waxing gibbous. 93% of the lunar surface is illuminated. This is John Albert Benson's special homemade caramel. I'm gonna eat it. It's world famous. So on the dinner tableau, I got the old that old companion burner that Cyle bought me. Looks like a thermal reactor. It's inside that old Solo stove, and it's got a good ball. Good ball. Yeah. And for dessert, I got some of my dad's homemade caramels. These are like really sought after over in my neck of the woods, and I got one solo Reese's peanut butter cup. And we're gonna have some chili mac. Do you see that? And those? Those are what we call luginards, breakfast luginards. Let's puncture to see if they're still green in the middle. Still very much a luginard. Old Sam's, Sergeant Adams saying goodbye.
Goodbye, happy trails to you, and many more ahead.
This isn't his first rodeo at Wood Lake. Kyle and Sam are taking off.
Yep. Peace out, everybody. See you, Brian.
See you, Brian.
See you, girl.
You traitor, Lulu. Lulu! Lulu! Yep. Brian got, he got a, looks like a meat lover pizza with some veggies on it. Benson burner's got the old, yeah, oh yeah, buddy.